To the Committee of Adjustments meeting, June 10th, 2025. Please note that this meeting is being broadcast and all recorded. Recordings will be made available on the town's YouTube channel. I would remind the folks that are here, if you have cell phones, please put them to mute. I'll introduce the folks that are here. I will start with our Chief Administrative Officer. To my left, Adam Sabansky, our Planning Technician, Mackenzie Baird, our Planner, Jordan Wallace, Manager of Developmental Services, Corinne Nada, and Will Nywinning, yes, sorry, Senior Planning Official. I'll introduce our committee as well, starting to my nearest right, Committee Member Jennifer Turk, beside her, Councillor Mike Vasey. To my left, Deputy Mayor Nettie McEwen, and to her left, Committee Member Les Goldhawk. And I am Bruce Moulton, and I am the chair of this committee. I have a motion here by Nettie McEwen, seconded by Les Goldhawk, that the minutes of the regular Committee of Adjustments meeting held May 6th, 2025 be approved as presented. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Motion is carried. I would remind our committee, if you have any pecuniary interests, please report them at the appropriate time. I have a motion by Nettie McEwen. Sorry, what am I doing? I got a minor variance application number A-0725. Take notice that an application was made by Nicole McDowell, agent for Will LaRiviere, with respect to the property known as Plan 25M75, Lot 58, Town of Plympton-Wyoming, 3547 Mia Lane. The subject property is zoned residential 5, R5. The following variances from zoning bylaw 97 of 2003 have been requested for a proposed detached accessory structure. Number one, a variance of approximately 4.16 approximately 39 square meters, 419.79 square feet, to permit the lot coverage to be approximately 39.06%, approximately 367 square meters. 3,950.36 square feet, notwithstanding the required lot coverage of 35%, approximately 328.9 meters, approximately 3,540.25 square feet as per table A. And number two, a variance to allow the roof pitch of the accessory structure to be 2 and 2/12 rise run, notwithstanding the minimum permitted roof pitch of 412 rise run as per section 3.3.4 subsection B3. This time I'll ask our planner, Jordan, to give us her report.
Chair, the application has been reviewed to determine alignment with good planning principles with the County of Plympton Official Plan, the Town of Plympton-Wyoming Official Plan, and with the town's zoning bylaw. It has been determined that the two minor variances proposed comply with the county and municipality's official plans and the intent of the zoning bylaw. Furthermore, the variances satisfy the 4 tests for a minor variance as set out under the Planning Act. As such, it is the opinion of planning staff that the application represents good planning, and the staff recommend that the application be approved. The application has been circulated to the appropriate agencies in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act. All agency comments, including those of the town's public works departments, the county building services, and Bridge Gas, and the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority, have been reviewed, and any recommended conditions have been included as part of staff's recommendations.
Okay, thank you. I know that Nicole is online at the moment. Nicole, anything to add to what our planner has said?
Hi, yes, I'm here representing the owners of 3547 Mia Lane in Kamlaki. I'd just like to add the reason for the variance for the lot coverage is because the dwelling itself already covers the max percentage allowed. So any sort of accessory dwelling would have required a minor variance just based on the size of the dwelling alone. The use of the building is going to be mixed for personal use. The owners like to do a lot of backyard entertaining. So it would be a mix of storage for that, and also the owner of the dwelling, she also is a photographer part-time. So she would like to use the space as a photography studio. Just when she specializes in newborn photography, so she only ever has one client at a time in the studio. So there's not going to be a lot of traffic to the area. But she would just like a space that's not inside of her dwelling, where her clients can come. And then that is also the reason for the additional washroom within the accessory building. But I am here to answer any other questions that anyone might have.
Thank you, Nicole. I will be turning it over to our committee to ask questions, so stay tuned. At this time, any correspondence, Mackenzie?
Through your chair, we have received no correspondence on this application.
Okay. And anyone in the audience speaking on or about this application? Okay, I'll move to our committee. I will start with my far right. Councillor Vasey, any questions?
Yeah, just comment. I went out and had a look at it Sunday, I think I was there. To me, I don't see how it fits in the backyard. We're already at the max for the structure that's there. Like I say, I think it's just gonna make it. You're over the 35% as it sits. I can't support this. I don't see it fitting.
Okay. Jennifer?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay,
Questions?
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, it's 5% more lot coverage than allowed. That's all, 5%? I think that's what I'm,
1%.
so
The
it's less than 5%. Yeah, so, and what is the maximum allowed for a home occupation? I don't think I saw that anywhere.
So the entire lot of all structures, sorry, through you, the chair, the entire all accessory and dwelling is 35%, but the dwelling currently covers 34.9% of the max lot coverage.
What about a home? I thought there was a limit on home occupation. The square footage for.
Mackenzie, go ahead, sorry.
I can speak to that because I sat on meetings with the client with Maria before Jordan had to take over this file. So the maximum is 40 square meters for a home occupation, and then I believe an additional 12 square meters allowed inside the residence. The original proposed structure was over that 40 meters squared. After talks with the applicant, they did reduce the size in order to meet those home occupation requirements.
No. So my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Les?
Yeah, I didn't have, when I looked at it, I didn't have an issue there. Backs onto open space. The only question that I did have is the powder room or the washroom is, I didn't see anywhere where there's sewer and water connections. That works.
Nicole?
Yep, I can speak to
heard
that. So the plan is to connect to the existing home services. So there won't be a new connection at the road. It will connect within the dwelling.
Does that answer your question, Les?
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that it was properly piped.
And I don't have any questions. I live around the corner, so I not around, a bit around the corner. I think that there is some room in the back for the shed. I don't have an issue with the pitch. So with that,
Can I have one?
Oh,
more
yeah, go
question?
ahead, Mitty.
So that's gonna sit over the fire pit? Is that what is the fire pit going to be removed? It's like to me. On this drawing, you know that?
Through the chair, I'm assuming that they would be removing it if that is where the fireplace would be.
Yeah, okay, it's just that. They have a really nice fire pit there and
Maybe Nicole could speak on that.
Nicole, do you want to talk about the fire pit that's there?
To be honest, the clients haven't spoken about the fire pit. They just identified that this is where they wanted to put the accessory the accessory unit. So the fire pit, I'm assuming, is going to be removed.
okay.
We have a motion here by Nita McEwen, seconded by Les Goldhawk, that the report by Jordan Wallace, planner dated May 28th, 2025 regarding minor variance application A-0725, requesting relief from the town of Plympton-Wyoming zoning bylaw to accommodate the proposed detached accessory structure on the lands known as 3547 Mia Lane. One, a variance of approximately 39 meters squared, 419.79 feet squared, is requested to permit a total lot coverage of approximately 365 meters squared, 3,950.36 feet squared for all proposed and existing buildings. This exceeds the minimum, the required maximum lot coverage of 328 meters squared, 3,530.56 meters squared, or 35% of lot area as per applicable zoning provisions. The requested variance represents an increase of approximately 4.1%. Increase in lot coverage, resulting in an overall lot coverage of approximately 39.1%. Number two, a variance to permit the roof pitch of 212, notwithstanding the required minimum roof pitch of 412 as per section 3.3.4B3 of the zoning bylaw be received and approved, subject to the following conditions. Number one, a certified lot grading plan be submitted to the town of Plympton-Wyoming and approved by the town prior to permit issuance. Number two, final grading plan certificate submitted to the town of Plympton-Wyoming upon final completion and subject to town final approval. Number three, ensure eaves, troughs, downspouts, and grading is always maintained accordingly and within owned property boundaries, no exceptions. Number four, ensure the property is generally maintained and drained during the construction process, and that drainage waters are not diverted to neighboring properties, and that weeds and grass are always maintained within less than 20 centimeters, 8 inches, and ensure the structure is used for home occupation and does not contain any habitable space or livestock. This time I will call the question. All those in favor? That motion is carried. Nicole, you can let your folks know that there is a 20-day appeal period. During that time, you can talk to Mackenzie or planning, and they'll let you know when the appeal period is finished and everything can go on from there.
Perfect, thank you.
We have 2 more minutes before our next application. Continue our meeting. I have minor variance application number A-0825. Take notice that an application has been made by T Voma Design Incorporated, agent for Claudio and Kelly Montanaro, with respect to the property known as Concession Front Plan 695, Lot 6, Town of Plympton, Wyoming, 3232 Devonshire Road. The subject property is zoned Environmental Protection Lakeshore, EPL. Sorry. The following variances from section 30.4.1 of zoning bylaw 97 of 2003 have been requested for a proposed addition to the primary dwelling. One, a variance of approximately 33.16 square meters, 356.93 square feet, to permit the building to be approximately 433.36 square meters, 4,664.65 square feet, notwithstanding the maximum gross floor area of 400.2 square meters, 4,307.72 square feet. At this time, I will ask our planner, Jordan, to give us her report.
Mr. Chair, following a detailed review of the application, it has come to our attention that a second minor variance will be required. As the updated survey and site plan drawings were only received earlier today, I'm recommending that this application be deferred and brought forward at the next committee meeting.
Okay, thank you, Jordan. I know we have some people here that want to speak for and talk about it, so I'll give the opportunity. I know, Mackenzie, we do have correspondence. I believe we have correspondence from both parties here. Go ahead, Travis, you can begin if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, this came to light recently. Apparently, I had a survey that was not in compliance anymore. And I just received a new survey which has been done. So unfortunately, that's where my numbers got a little bit skewed. And I apologize for that. I guess I mean, you've seen the comments and the rebuttals back. I don't need to kind of go over that kind of stuff. Essentially, my clients, they just want to add a little bit more to the garage because they don't have basement space. So essentially to be able to park 2 cars and a little bit of storage, which they neglect in not having a basement. I guess it was my understanding here that potentially we could get some feedback still based on, I guess, the one variance that was applied for. Not sure if that can happen, partially because I mean they're kind of one and the same. You know, essentially we're applying for the same thing. It's just related to two different items and 2 different calculations. So it's my hope that if the committee so desires that we can kind of get your feedback. Obviously you're not going to say yes or no, but feedback for me is always good if we're going back.
Yeah. Yeah, I will open the floor for our committee to ask questions for sure.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions?
I'll wait until the other,
Sure.
so Rima, are you gonna speak?
Yeah, I am. So you've already, I guess, received our letter or opposition. I'm going to basically reply to Kelly and Montanero's letter that was submitted earlier today. Regarding some of the I guess concerns, lot dispute. Claudio and Kelly state in their letter to this committee that we do not have a dispute with us regarding shared boundary. This is a false statement. We have text and emails going back to November of 2024 to the contrary. Claudio and Kelly state the boundary line in and around October 21st, 2024, verbally stating the reason why was drainage issues they were experiencing. This is confirmed by text dated in and around November 2024. I want to point something out regarding lot dispute. This property has had ownership taken by, they're probably the 3rd owners. It's gone through construction, started off with the 2 bedroom cottage, 1-story to 2-story. Now, nobody has ever disputed the boundary until now, okay? Secondly, the drainage issues. Claudio and Kelly state in their letter to this committee that they have never had drainage issues and have never communicated as such to us. With the permission of this committee, I would like to read a group text stream between Claudio, Kelly, my husband, Jim, and myself.
I'll just gonna give you a couple minutes because once again, I appreciate you responding to this, but I think we have some. The lot line issue, I'm not sure. This committee is not gonna really look after
Yeah,
that.
this is a civil matter.
And the drainage issues, once again, are gonna be, once again, not this committee's forte. We don't look after drainage unless it's looked after by the landowner, but go ahead.
The point of the drainage issue is that if you're adding, this is an overloaded lot, right? They've already exceeded the 150%. So they're already having a drainage issue before this extension. Now they're extending to it. So it would add more to the problem. This is a shoreline. There is environmental issues, right? That we have to have concern. This drainage actually is along our property line, apparently, right? Along the west. So it has an effect on us. If it's affecting them, it will drain onto ours. So we do have a concern about that. Okay? So I guess you don't want me to read the text, that's fine. The third is the privacy concern regarding the proposed balcony. Claudia and Kelly state in their letter that their proposed balcony would not present privacy issues to our adjacent property. We have provided aerial and ground level pictures to the contrary of our letter of opposition. Claudio and Kelly just provided a couple of pictures of their unextended garage. I do have additional pictures to show with your permission.
Yeah, I would hope that maybe when we defer, I know I would believe that all our committee have been out there.
Okay.
To see the place for ourselves. I see the nodding of heads.
Okay.
Normally, generally, we all do go out and see for ourselves. So, thank you.
Okay, regarding the mature maple tree mentioned in Claudio and Kelly's letter to this committee, would not provide as much buffer as they are presenting. Additionally, this tree is not included in the survey certification. It is a very messy tree. We suspect Claudio and Kelly will eventually remove the tree to provide more space to access around the side of the extended garage. Nevertheless, a tree cannot be permitted as a permanent structure. The tree can die, be damaged, and legally removed in the future. This is a standard planning principle. Okay, thank you.
I will now open it up to our committee here to ask questions, and I'll start with my far left. Les, go ahead.
I don't know whether I have any questions until the boundary thing gets.
Yeah, and I know through you, sorry, Jordan. So the lot line issue, I don't want to step on anybody's toes here on the committee. So the lot line issue, I assume, will be resolved before our next meeting. Travis?
Through the chair, my client has hired Monteith and Sutherland. They have done a survey. The survey that you've deemed copy of is a signed copy that states exactly where the boundary line is. In our opinion, in the opinion of the Ontario land surveyor, he's done his due diligence and he would not sign that thing unless he is 100% sure that it is there. In doing his due diligence, he does measure other properties going the other way to make sure that on title, everyone measures the correct measurement. And essentially he's done that, and that's the only reason why he's certified this. So without getting him here, he has signed it. Like, he is an Ontario land surveyor. Once he signs that, he has done his due diligence.
Rima, you have a.
Yes. So this survey is a certificate. So it's a surveyor's opinion. It is not registered on title. We do have the registered on title. There is a discrepancy between the two, and it is with our title insurers, and they're looking at it closely.
Adam?
there is differences between a certificate and a survey on title. So definitely this is something that the property owners will have to figure out between them. Typically, for the purposes of an application of this nature, we would typically go off of that legal surveyor's certificate. Bearing in mind that legal surveyor, as an Ontario land surveyor, is required to certify the properties. If the surveyor made an error, that would fall to their errors in omission. If this committee is making judgment off of a surveyor's certificate. So that's a tough position for us because we don't have both sides of the evidence. The applicant has provided us a survey certificate, which we would typically take as what it is. In regards to drainage, if I may.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
So there's two conditions in the recommendation that address lot drainage, number 1, and then the number 5. If there's drainage issues on the property, they would typically be addressed during the overall grading certificate, because we typically like to see the whole property to ensure that does not occur. So I would suggest that if we do identify any areas where the property slopes off to adjacent lands, we'd ask for that to be mitigated in some fashion or form. So the engineering department, or public works department, I should say, would review that and work with the property owners to address any issues that may be illustrated through that grading plan.
What about privacy issue?
We do not address privacy issues. That's common law, unfortunately, which we do not have authority over.
Okay, I'll move to, go ahead, Les, if you want to keep going. You wanna-
The second question that I did have is to find out if the total area that's being described here, it's in all the buildings on the property.
So through the chair.
Yep.
Section, let me get this together. So lot coverage in the EPL zone, we can see that in subset or section 30.4L. Lot coverage in EPL for all buildings on the lot combined shall not exceed that of the zone that applies to those portions of the lot or the neighboring lots that are located directly outside the EPL zone. So the EPL zone in table B, the lot coverage only is for the dwelling that is identified in table B. So that is the 20%. For all buildings, we would refer to the neighboring zone, which is R5, and that's a 35% for all buildings. So we did our calculations for all buildings and so accessory and dwelling, and it is under the 35%. So we're just looking at lot coverage for the dwelling, which is what the second minor variance would be.
Anything else, Les? Deputy Mayor?
No, we need to have a survey, legal cert.
Okay.
Not certificate. In my opinion, anyway.
Jennifer?
I don't have any comments till I have the full application in front of us.
Councillor Basie?
I'd be the same. If we're gonna defer, then we'll wait and
Okay.
read it all. Thank you.
Any questions from? So what I'm going to do, change this, we are gonna I'm gonna propose a deferral of this. Obviously, you've heard from one member of our committee that they would be looking for a proper survey or go ahead, Travis.
Sorry, can you like refine exactly so that I can say to more people other than what we're exactly looking for? Like is it a like it has to be registered with the land registry office?
Besides the
So
certificate.
if you went to the land registry office and had pulled the deeds, you may, if it's an older deed, you might have to actually have someone physically search for it. Digital deeds don't always come up. That could establish the property boundaries of the property. In lack of a actual existing survey, a new legal survey would be beneficial. I'd have to further research the legal bindingness of a certificate versus a plan, but a plan establishes the lot lines and is registered on deed and title through the land registry office. It's more formal. The certificate is a surveyor should find that, yes, these are the property boundaries, but it's just a drawing.
Just a piece of, yeah,
Yes, the surveyors put their name behind it and that does hold weight, but it does not hold as much weight of it as a full legal survey.
Now, if that person would they be conversing, best to be conversed with you or with? Like the surveyor, if I want to say to them, make sure that you get the proper documentation, is that?
Planning, and I can discuss that. It'd be probably a combination of it.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing else? Okay, I have a motion by Mike Vasey, seconded by Jennifer Turk, that the report by Jordan Wallace, planner, dated May 28, 2025, be received, and that minor variance application A-0825 requesting relief from the Town of Plympton-Wyoming zoning bylaw for the gross floor area of the dwelling on the lands known as 3232 Devonshire Road be deferred. I'll call the question. All those in favor? That is carried or deferred. So possibly we'll be here in a month or whatever long it takes to get the documentation once again. Go through our planning, and if you have any questions, you can call Mackenzie or Jordan or whatever to get any questions answered. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to our other business as we have no more applications. Pete? So once again, our business arising, comprehensive zoning bylaw amendment. I believe, Jordan, I don't know if you have more to say on that. I know that it's being worked on and.
I have not, Chair, I have not spoken with Maria. What? Going so far.
Will, anything?
Comprehensive review of the zoning bylaw.
Yes.
I don't know the exact dates, but the consultant is working on a set of draft amendments.
Okay. Good. We just have it as business arising on our minutes, or for our minutes, and we bring it up each time. So to see if there's anything new. So thank you. I don't think that there's any other business arising. Mackenzie, I know we were going to talk maybe about the Ontario ACA.
Through your chair, no business arising at the time. The OACA go under new business.
Yep. Okay, any new business from planning? Nothing from planning? Any new business from our CAO? Sir. All right, committee, or anything, Councillor Vasey?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Jennifer?
One little thing for the comprehensive zoning bylaw, and maybe Corinne saw through this, but the 212 is the word. You have that in the zoning bylaw? Or- Yeah, I know it's been there a long time, but. Okay.
Our snow accumulation around here isn't,
The one reason why we had that in was to avoid flat roofs and sea cans.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
One
sure.
reason why it was put in.
Yeah, for
So that
sure.
All accessory structures had to have the pitched roof.
Yeah, okay.
There was also a concern that people were, typical building was like this, that they're going up like this to get a second floor, or, a building of a bigger massing than was normally permitted, possible under a normal pitch roof. So that was a primary reason for that. It did result in when people started using sea cans, we were able to say you can't have a sea can.
Yeah.
That's not a requirement. So there have been people who put pitched roofs onto the sea cans, and they actually look not bad, some of them, when they're done.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Jennifer? Deputy Mayor McEwen?
No, nothing, thanks.
Les? So I did have new business. I think three of us, well, two and a half of us were at the OACA meeting. Jennifer was there on behalf of both, just my comments, and I'll ask the other two if they want to add in. I hadn't been in about 10 years, so it was quite nice to go. It was at Blue Mountain, which was quite a nice resort. Certainly, when you go and talk to other committees throughout the province, you see kind of how well our committee does work together. I think certainly a lot of times when there's new legislation coming out, our planners come and give us education on that. Doesn't happen a lot around our province. So I certainly want to put a shout out to our planning committee or our planners because they do keep us informed with any new legislation. And I believe when we were there, new legislation did come out while we were there. So and the way that we kind of run our meetings and the way that the way that we interact with our audience, I guess, certainly is a bit different than some of the others. I was quite taken aback where a lot of them, when they go do their visits, they actually do not go and see anybody. They don't talk to anybody while they're there and whatnot. I think most of us probably, if they're out there, will talk to whomever. Anyway, I just thought I was quite proud to be able to stand up a few times or to put my hand up a few times to say, yes, we do that, or yes, we do that. So I certainly want to share that with our committee that we have here, that we're pretty well doing what I believe is what's mandated for us to do. So I thought it was quite enlightening. Well, believe me, there was one community that each person, so let's say you have an application. So Mike, you would go and you just yourself would go and you would bring the report back to the committee. No one else would go, and you would say whether you thought it was a good idea or not. And you would kind of say yes, yay or nay, and basically try to convince the committee to go with what you thought when you go and see it. And a lot of people were a bit taken back of that, but a couple others did the same thing as well. So I'm not sure if that's a mandated kind of thing, but anyway, I don't know, Jennifer or Nettie, if you had anything to add from the OA.
No, I had a great time, thanks.
The ask an expert about the changes to legislation was kind of nice. I mean, we get updates from our planning group, but it's always nice to hear from an expert side of things and what they think about that. It's always nice to network with other people. And my dual role was a secretary treasurer for another municipality. It's always nice to know if we're doing things the right way or not. Yeah, it was good. Networking is probably one of the better things.
Yeah, I agree with the networking as well. And it was, when you're eating your lunch and supper, it's a good time to talk to different communities to kind of see, you learn a bit at the presentations, but certainly learn far more when you sit and talk to somebody at a table. So I encourage the next ones coming up. I believe the next one is in Ottawa. In May. I have it in my calendar, but it's Mother's Day, again. Yeah, and I encourage if you have a chance to go, I think it's a good way. I know that I think I went the second year I was on the committee, which was well over 10 years ago. And the more that you've been on the committee, the more that I think you kind of learn when you go to these things. The first time, I think I was kind of overwhelmed on what exactly everybody was. There were, lawyers talking, lawyers speak, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I enjoyed it. So thanks to the town for giving us the opportunity to go. So, and that's all I have for new business. I have a motion by Jennifer Turk, seconded by Mike Vasey, that the Committee of Adjustments meeting be adjourned and the next meeting be scheduled for July 8th, 2025 at 5:15. I'll call the question. All those in favor. Motion is carried.